Peace, peace, peace. It's the son Jatasva here. Um, know it's been a minute. Probably shouldn't have kept you. Just been maneuvering through the realm of the dead here. Obtaining more knowledge. Taking a lot of time out to get my energy right. Vibrations, things of that nature. Um, Pretty much today, what I wanted to talk about, the true definition of God, or God by definition, to call upon, to invoke, which is an action, not a being. Also, to pour, or libation. Now, libation is to pour. We pour libation to honor the ancestors, or to communicate with the spirit realm, things of that nature. Now, I say that to say this. Let's go back to this definition of God, or God by definition. Let me explain to you how the action of God can become a being. Libation, to pour, to invoke, to call upon, the male, the female. Intercourse, it's invoking, calling upon. Sperm pours. Conception occurs. Go through trimesters. Give birth. And it's afterbirth. The waters break. You pour out. You pour. The child being born is the physical manifestation of the libation, or the invoking, or what you called upon. Because when you have intercourse, it's to procreate. So therefore, you're calling upon another being. So this is how the action becomes a being, and the manifestation of God. See, when you're dealing with this aspect of things, you're dealing with what I like to call universal knowledge. Now, let's get into the breakdown very briefly of the word universal. U N I. Verse is to turn, to rotate. Al, L, you're dealing with light. The U and the I. The U is the art, the feminine energy. The N is the neutral. The I is what you would call the obelisk, the positive energy or representation, if you want to place gender on energies, which that's a whole nother other topic that we won't get into. But to keep it very simple, we'll just say that. So you have the male and the female energy in rotation. Positive, neutral, negative. Rotations of light. Revolution into evolution. Because this rotation of light creates vibration, and this vibration manifests new light or energy, whichever you want to call, however you want to reference it. Also, everyone is their own universe. So universal or universal can also be you and I versus all. You see, because they're constantly their universes at conflict with each other, universes at war. Then we have universal warfare. You and I versus all in warfare. Now, this is where the praying and the worshiping comes in. What's the difference between pray and pray? Pray is to beg. Prey is food for a predator or predator. You're dealing with superiority and inferiority. Worship is a warship. Ship is your body, a body at war. See, what you have to realize is don't feed fear, don't feed ignorance, because they will consume you. Feed knowledge. Allow knowledge to consume you. Allow yourself to be enlightened. That's the light within. It's really dealing with one mastering themselves. You know, the zodiac, the purpose of the animals. The word zoo comes from zodiac. So you're dealing with the mastering of the animals, which is the Noah's Ark story, symbolism of that in the Bible, the Adam and dominion over the animals. This is you mastering your animal self, the animal aspects of yourself, your lower self, your reptilian brain, the lower part of your brain, to raise it to a higher. This is your what you call your devil rising to the light or becoming the Christ, your lower self merging with your higher self. You see, because when you're dealing with a word like Lucifer, lucid, light, it means light. Talk about lucid dreaming, it's a light dreaming. See, it's a play on words that creates this fear. And the devil is just a fall from your higher, from your crown. This is why they talk about crowns and, so forth and so on. You're falling from that into the bowels, the lower part, the pits of your stomach, the hell, which we all know is acid in your stomach is hot, so forth and so on. Hellfire, pits of fires of hell, so forth and so on. We're dealing with chakras once again. The rising and the falling of the chakras. That's all we're dealing with. So it's really necessary to master these animal characteristics within ourselves. Most people are acting like animals because they're consuming animals, and on top of that, they're consuming dead animals. Certain species aren't meant to consume animals, and other species that do consume animals consume live animals. Look at the lions and the cheetahs. They consume live animals. The gazelle, the wildebeest, so forth and so on. The dolphins, the whales, so forth, they eat fish. It's live. They eat it while it's alive. Although they play tricks on them at SeaWorld and that marine land and they're feeding them dead fish. But if you notice, it's somebody holding a fish, flapping it around, and throwing it in their mouth. I guess maybe psycho mouth have them thinking that they're eating, something that's living, which is dead. But then you wonder why they're talking about these killer whales going crazy. Feeding them dead organisms. This is not natural to their system. See, when you put unnatural things into your system, when you consume unnatural things, you have unnatural reactions. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, because a lot of people throw this word God around. Oh, meditation is talking to God and so forth. And listen. God is an action, not a being. You invoke, you call upon, or you manifest. But this is a personal action. So this also explains how one man's God can be another man's devil, because, like I said, we are all universes at war when we're in a conflicting state. Now, to be harmonious in vibration and balance and dealing with the Mayat, that's a different aspect. Balance is a very tricky thing. Some people think, balance is doing a bunch of bad shit, then do a bunch of good shit, because that's balance. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. because balance is not being comprehended properly. What balance is, you know, um, because you love, you have to hate. Is that balance? Well, you don't necessarily have to hate your enemy, but out of love for yourself, you will protect yourself from your enemy. You will kill your enemy out of love, not out of hatred. See, because when you act like your enemy, you become your enemy, your own worst enemy. How do you rise to a new low? So, like I said, I just want to touch on those things, keep it real brief. Um, but I'll be getting back at y'all with, touch on a few more things in another video I'm gonna get back to. But right now I'm close this out, so until next time, rise and be greater. Peace, 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 peace.